Hi everyone, welcome to my review of Steven Spielberg's Duel from 1971. So yes, we are back once again to discuss yet another Spielberg film, and this time round, his very first feature film. So yes, what an honour, and how exciting to be discussing this film. I must admit, I'd never seen this until last week. So yeah, even though he is, Spielberg, one of my absolute favourite directors, and very much almost at the top for me, and at times, kind of in a way, despite all that, I had never seen this film, until now. So very recently, last week, I'd been wanting to see this for years, and yes, going through, of course, very recently again, some Spielberg films, kind of reviewing them and just, showing my thoughts, and of course, this is going to be great to do, finally, to discuss his debut, and of course, there will be spoilers, in this discussion. So if you haven't seen this film, I simply recommend, I recommend this film, and then we can kind of talk about this film if you want, and kind of you can, you don't have to worry about spoilers, of course, coming to this video here, and of course, one other note, this was the theatrical version. Of course, I believe the TV version is quite rare these days, so. So I saw the theatrical version. I purchased this. I don't have the Blu-ray or anything like that, or an actual home release of this. But I did watch this. I purchased this, and yes, I own this technically now. And yeah, it was great to do, and just to see this film. But yes, the theatrical version, I believe, is just basically. Scenes added in, and some editing going on, just to kind of bulk this up. And it was made obviously for TV originally, but then later on, it's kind of released for an audience, and yes, just to kind of enhance this, I guess, to a more suitable kind of form for theatrical kind of showing and experience, and this is the one that I'm going to be discussing, in this video here. So just kind of note that. So I've never seen the TV version. So yes, I can't really comment, for example, on the differences between the theatrical and the TV version, but that's the one I saw, the theatrical version, and what a film this is, and of course it's been created recently, so kind of go through different Spielberg films again, and kind of discuss them with you viewers, of course on the channel, and yeah, of course as well. This was a request from Charlie, a great friend of mine, and he has his great channel, the Clagga, and this is of course a music related channel, covers of course mainly, and lists, rankings, and just wow, what a channel. And it'd be great, if you could kind of, if you're interested of course in this kind of stuff, check his channel out. I'll leave it in the description, so if you are interested of course, and you have the time, it's in the description, his channel, link to this, and he did request this film, so yes, we must note that, and really, a great one to kind of pick, because this film, I must say, let's kind of get into the review. This film is great. I loved it. I think it's just, of course, I didn't really, know too much about this. I knew, kind of the general idea, being a chase film involving, this kind of tanker truck, and I knew the basic concept of this, but I didn't know what to expect in terms of just the direction and all this kind of stuff, the style, and just the kind of tone of this, because I'd never really seen any clips at all from this, and of course, yes, fascinating stuff. The very first kind of feature film, and it does, we'll say, it does kind of show, or you can kind of piece together, the kind of flourishes, the Spielberg, or ideas as well, that would go on to kind of do, of course, Jaws. This film here does kind of at times compare to Jaws, in terms of the basic, execution. I feel this being kind of, in essence, this film is a monster film. Just it is a truck instead of perhaps a shark, or dinosaurs. Later on he would do, of course, Jurassic Park, and etc. But yes, this film does, you can compare this, very much similar in many regards to some of his later films, and it does have that kind of grit and that raw kind of feeling, in the action, perhaps, the two Raiders, the Lost Ark, I feel, and perhaps some of his other action films, but especially Raiders. It has that kind of, energy, perhaps, and not comparing it to Raiders, in that sense, but it does have kind of similarities between different films that he would go on to kind of make, and it's just so fascinating to see. And this being, of course, very very simple idea, of course, this kind of tanker truck, kind of pursuing David Mann, who is this businessman, simply on his way to a meeting, and then of course he does at one point phone his family and his wife, and just wanting to make it back eventually to them, but of course concerned about time and all this kind of stuff. He is kind of traveling through at this point the Mojave Desert, and we see at first the kind of view in the credits and stuff of the city before this, and it's just a wonderful way to kind of open this up. Very simple but so effective, seeing of course the kind of view from the car, and just kind of seeing the road, and just the editing here, very much this kind of effect puts you into this state, eases you in to this film. Very very patient build up, and I just love almost this kind of Hitchcockian kind of way in which Spielberg visually builds the film up, the layers, and just kind of playing with this idea, and getting it kind of ingrained in my mind at least, and for it to never kind of leave this idea until the end credits, and the kind of ending there is just what a way to kind of end this film. That shot there is just wow, beautiful, and throughout this film I was just so invested, and I must say truly an unforgettable experience. But we have of course this first kind of act where David Mann, of course, played by Dennis Weaver in this film, and he is the main character, of course, and there isn't really too much other people in the way of cast, really, or actual characters, you could say. Of course, he does stop off different kind of diners and locations along the way, but of course mainly it is just Dennis Weaver in the car, and we never see, geniusly, we never really see or kind of revealed the actual true identity of the driver. So that's a really interesting fact about this film, and I guess you could kind of talk about that for an hour alone, because just choosing to do that kind of adds this, well, it transforms the film, and it kind of adds this surreal element first, and just I think allowing the actual truck to be the main villain, the main character who is pursuing of course David Mann, and I guess comparisons can be made between the truck and saying it has like a face in that sense, and very obviously, but the fact is we never see an actual driver in relation to this driving this. We never see his face, so it kind of at times just I was so much into this film and in this experience, and due to that fact as well, I was just kind of fearing this truck itself, as if it is kind of, it took over and had a mind of its own, and perhaps comparable to a film like Christine as well, John Carpenter's film, and it's just such a genius way, kind of this monster film in a way you could compare it to. Seeing kind of David, his initial kind of overtaking of this tanker truck. We know he needs to get to somewhere, and of course naturally if there is room on the road and stuff, and just seeing that this slow moving vehicle is in the way, of course one would naturally try and overtake, perhaps, and yes, of course that is perhaps his mistake, and of course afterwards the tanker truck once again overtaking David, and from there we have a series of maneuvers, and then of course eventually, or very soon after that, we have seeing of course in the wind mirror, seeing the truck kind of emerging, and then chasing, literally chasing David, and pursuing him, and then throughout the rest of the film never letting up. This is quite an intense experience, and again I can't say exactly for the TV version, but this one here, what the one I saw theatrical, just so cinematic, so involving, just the way in which Spielberg kind of stays in the car a lot of the time to kind of establish the shots and the relation between David and of course our villain, and the pursuer. It really is quite intense, and even going to different locations, getting out of the car, and just this kind of yes, kind of respite, you could say. At least David at first thinking that he is, in the clear, getting into perhaps the kind of diner. One in particular, one sequence here, when he kind of goes in and then, he wants, a sandwich, of course, and some water he asks for, and then of course, he thinks he's okay. But then, the kind of paranoia ensues, and he realizes that the truck is back, and perhaps he's not escaped this kind of scenario, and that's kind of a very surreal experience. You could say a turning point, for this film, and from then on, we have kind of quite a fantastical, and surreal experience. One that is very very intense, and it's a very very funny film at times. It has its kind of quirks and you could say bizarre moments, which I love personally. But it is a very, very quite a disturbing film, and just taking this idea, very simple, relatable idea, of this kind of road rage incident, of this truck, kind of trying to get back at David, and this whole kind of way in which David is just simply wanting to get away from this. Just the way in which, as I say, Spielberg is taking this kind of idea of road rage, or this kind of incident, kind of taking it to the extreme, in the sense of this truck never letting up until the end, of course. Right, as we know, this truck falling down, off the cliff edge there, and not exploding, of course, but just this kind of intense moment, in the end, and just a very, very, kind of satisfying ending, because we've gone through this journey, the entire film, where we want David to kind of make it out, and just for this guy to stop, this kind of pursuing, and as I say, really never seeing the face, of the driver, and we do in that diner sequence though that I was referring to. We could guess as to who it is, in that sequence there. I'm not going to kind of take a guess, but seeing this, I guess it's very, it kind of gets you thinking, and this kind of paranoia, in that sequence. It's very overwhelming at times, and just the way in which Spielberg is showing the reaction shots, of character of David, and Dennis Weaver in this film, is great, and I just loved how kind of innocent he was at first, and then just kind of this overcoming, overwhelming feeling of kind of paranoia, and kind of this desperate feeling, on Dennis Weaver's face. He channels this character. David just simply wanted to make it out alive, and safely, of course, and this is not the case entirely, because he really goes through the ringer, and just the kind of lengths that this truck, or this driver, goes to in the film, to kind of get back at David, and essentially kill him. This is what it is. It starts off this kind of angry kind of feeling that this truck and the driver kind of giving off onto David, and of course David getting frustrated, and these different natural reactions on David's face, and what he's trying to do, and to kind of outrun him as well, but of course it turns into something very soon after that, where this truck, this kind of driver, is trying to essentially kill David. Very very dangerous kind of maneuvers here, and just very very intense and scary. It's a very kind of disturbing film, and one that really, again, kind of placing it on different, moments of reality. I guess this is very very disturbing, and all kind of too true to life, I guess. But just blown up into this kind of fantastical way, and I just love how Spielberg is doing this throughout the film. It's just such a investing film. The kind of way in which it's shot, is truly. It doesn't feel at all, like it's kind of made for TV. It really is just such an accomplished film, and I just think seeing this, you can already see, even with his first feature film, Spielberg is in many ways a master, of the craft, and just to kind of the way in which he is kind of telling this story visually, because of course there isn't really too much dialogue in the film, and perhaps obviously as well, the villain and David, never really, kind of overtly exchange dialogue. No. Of course, different characters, in the film that he meets. David, again, not really too much kind of conversation going on. So mostly relying on kind of this visual way of telling the story, and of course the music as well, the score, which is it's very interesting as well. At times it does feel a bit it has this grit, I guess this cheapness to it, but as well, it does have this kind of epic feeling, in the score and the music used, and I think just it is at times perhaps a bit too much, but I guess it also adds to that kind of intense feeling, and kind of that assault on the senses, I guess, and kind of getting into the mindset of David, and how it's all kind of too much for him, perhaps, and it really is a very complex film, this, and the emotions that he goes through, it's just so riveting to take part in that sense. It's a real experience film. It's this kind of participant experience, and just to kind of rooting for David, this feeling of rooting for him, not wanting him to come to any harm, and of course we do see as I say, this kind of phone call early on, where we kind of see David's family, and adding the kind of relatability there, although it's not a scene that is I would say essential to the film, and I think actually that is a scene that was added for this theatrical version, without kind of Spielberg's kind of knowledge of that. I guess it's kind of a scene that on one hand it's nice to see his family, and see that he does as well have this to go back to, and it kind of adds that that kind of feeling it kind of, I guess instilling the kind of theme of family, and the importance of family, and I guess the comforting feeling that we would kind of guess that David would get when he returns to his family. But on the other hand, it's not exactly a scene that is essential for this actual film, but it's nice to see, and just interesting to learn even more about David, this kind of exposition, and because a lot of the time it's just simply this businessman kind of trying to get away from this truck, and it's nice to have different moments in the film to kind of bring out more in his character. Having said that, though, I just loved this character, and just I think Dennis Weaver, as I say, gives a great performance, such an intense one, and I think it's very interesting as well. In this film, the narration, the kind of voiceover, it's very, very, very strange, I must say, and just at times, I think perhaps it kind of took away actually from my true investment in the film, just at times, moments, because I feel it was kind of off point at times, and perhaps not necessary, and it was a bit kind of strange, and I guess again it could add to that kind of bizarre nature of the film, the surreal element, and the way in which David is kind of going out of control. His mind is being distorted by this this sense of fear, of the unknown, of course, being in somewhere, a location where he's not perhaps familiar with, and the fear of the unknown. Who is this driver? What is the motive? And that's the key thing of this film. We have the fear of this motive constantly over the film. Of course, of the film, I was trying to kind of, I was wondering what is the reason for this, but in the end, I didn't kind of want to know, actually. I thought this was great to kind of wrap it up, and leave that sense of wonder intact, and we never learn why this driver wants to kind of do this to David, and what was the real motive to kind of instantly almost take this to the extreme, and try to pursue David in this way. We never know. But, as I say, I think this really is a great thing about the film, and just kind of leaving this sense of wonder afterwards, and allowing the film to remain this kind of mystery film, and what is the reason? Why did this driver do this? We never know, and I think that's great, because as I say, it leaves us well, more after the film experience, to kind of ponder, and to think on, and just to kind of. Yes, it allows, I guess, it would be great to kind of rewatch this film, and perhaps pick up on clues, different clues in the film, but really, it's this kind of sense of wonder, and this kind of choosing not to reveal the driver, officially in the film, that is really great, and I think the narration, perhaps, as I say, was a bit unnecessary at times, and it was a bit kind of, perhaps it kind of was off tone, for my liking, for considering the actual, the rest of the film, at times, this was kind of perhaps off-putting for me, just for my liking, and I think yes, it kind of added more, you could say, to what was going through his mind, David, because as we know, he doesn't really converse too much with anyone in the film, but I guess at times, in a few scenes here and there, especially, I think the narration, I could have done without that personally, but it took away a little bit, but not really a major flaw for me. No. In fact, this film, for what it is, I'm trying to achieve, it really goes above and beyond, and I think very little things that I, very little slights really, just here and there, and I think there are definitely quite a few, many Spielberg films that I prefer to this, but I do consider this one of his great films, and I think for a debut, what a film this is, and just this psychological, and visceral experience as well. We have so many moments of action that are so kind of visceral and involving, and just so intense. The way in which Spielberg shot and edited this film, it's just stunning, really, and just to see, kind of this progression, this transformation, of David to slightly nervous, and kind of, anxious, you could say, really feeds into this kind of feeling, and him to kind of go from that to pretty angry, frustrated, and then to completely unhinged and just kind of paranoid, and kind of overcome with this this experience and this event, and of course in the end, talking on that ending, what a fascinating way as well that this ends. Of course, the truck, as I've said, kind of going off the cliff there, and the cliff edge, and of course David, remaining, alive here, of course, and some mysterious moments, involving the driver, and what's going on there. Not really seeing that, but of course, we kind of learn that this is the end of this event, and no more will David be pursued. But there is that kind of disturbing nature of the ending. It's a beautiful shot. Of course, the sunset there, but quite haunting as well, actually. Just what a shame for this guy. This guy just trying to get through. This going on a business trip, and having this family, and not doing anything wrong. Of course, but this truck, pursuing him, and never letting up until going off the cliff there, and it's just this intense experience that is as I say, very psychological, through this through this narrative, and just in the end, very, very satisfying, and just unforgettable. Wrapping up, because it's not a film that I could talk about for much longer, because it is a very, very simple film, and of course you could say much more, so much more about this film, but I think first viewing, I just want to kind of cherish the kind of simplicity of this experience that I had, and just the kind of visual feeling, and the kind of psychological, kind of haunting experience this film was, and I don't really have too much more to say in terms of particulars, but I absolutely love this film, and just I think this is one of Spielberg's great films, and I think just so much inspiring moments in this film, for the character as well, as just inspiring filmmaking, because of course it's always great to see Spielberg films, and they inspire me more than most, but of course seeing where he started, and he was very young, relatively, of course, for a actual film director when making this film, and it's just great to see that he is already kind of this talented guy, genius moments in this film, and the way in which he commanded the screen, the direction here, stunning, and of course to learn that he already was a great director here, and his debut feature is this great film, and also at the same time he went on to make, for me at least, so many films that just blew this one away, and that is just great. Two kind of aspects to that. He would better himself, and grow, and already setting the kind of the kind of bar here very, very high, and making a great low budget film, $450,000, and very pretty low budget there, and just kind of taking a very simple idea, and expanding upon it, and just blowing it up, of course, in that sense, and just creating this highly investing, psychological, and just charming experience as well of a film. And yes, my final rating for this film is a 92%. Yes, I loved it. I just had a great time with this. It's a funny film at times, and it has its moments, of bizarre nature, and I think it has this kind of surreal feeling, at times, but it really is such a kind of magical film as well, and just simply unforgettable. Again, it can be compared to Spielberg's other films at times, especially Jaws. Maybe as I say, Raiders. But I think really it is kind of this unique film as well in his filmography, and just a very you could say it's kind of this. With all respect, this kind of student film, one of such a high quality that it kind of exceeds that, statement or that description, and it just becomes this kind of, truly cinematic and unforgettable kind of first outing, of course, from Spielberg, and as I say, very low budget, and but kind of going against the odds, and making this film, and just creating an experience that is truly, as I say, unforgettable, and really a film that I love. I will be placing this on a few kind of favourites lists, and for Spielberg, I think this is it wouldn't be my top 10, but it is one of his great films, and it's simply because he's made so many great films, masterpieces, and I think a testament to for example, as I say, setting the bar very, very high indeed, but going on, for me at least, to make many more films that just are truly, for me, beyond this film. But this was lovely to see, and just great to kind of watch this, and to see where he would go. But just to kind of see another Spielberg that I hadn't seen yet, and to enjoy it in its own way of just being such a unique film, and so enjoyable, this one, so investing, and a few slights here and there, but really this is just a stunning achievement, and I recommend this to anyone really. But I guess many would want to see this film. Would have it on their kind of watch list to see at least where Spielberg kind of started. At least in terms of kind of feature films, and just to kind of again, he was very young when making this film, and it's very inspiring, and he kind of made a film like this, of this quality, and kind of control and confidence, and visual flair, and just understanding cinema so well here. The actual, the way in which there are ingredients, and just the way in which Spielberg is kind of telling the story visually. It's just so inspiring. He really instantly kind of here had so much talent, and it's just great to see this, and to kind of see where he would go, and as well, and kind of link it, and he was not too much older in that sense when he made Jaws, which is just unbelievable. And 4 years after this, he would make he'd release in that sense though Jaws, and it's just, it really is it's genius, this guy's kind of career, and his progression, and his story in that sense. It is cinema, of course, and it's just this film here, in particular, I loved, and it was just great to see, and yes, what a way to kind of make your first feature film. Wow, just a hats off to Spielberg, and yes, just what a film, and yes, it's been great to do this, and once again, thanks to Charlie, and his channel, the Clagga. Once again, I will kind of leave that in the description, a link, and thanks to Charlie, and requesting this film, and I loved it, and it's a great one to request, because I think it's a really great film, and just I look forward to discussing this film with you viewers, and just to kind of hear your thoughts on this, and Spielberg films, and to kind of get your insight would be great, and yes, just to kind of continue this positive interaction in the comments, and to really just be here for our love of cinema, and it's great to do, and to share this love, this passion in a positive way, in a peaceful manner, and just to kind of continue this relationship, and our kind of enjoyment of this medium, and to kind of go from there. Different conversations can happen through our love, of this of cinema, of course, of this medium, and this one here is so inspiring as well. Just to kind of people aspiring to be filmmakers, or who have made films and want to kind of progress. Of course, that is the case. For many, and to kind of keep going and to kind of progress and to make more and to make bigger films. But this one here is just so inspiring for that, and also to take an idea, a very very simple idea, and to kind of execute it, in this way, and to kind of blow it up, and make a film out of this. It's just inspiring. Thumbs up from me, and it's been great to do this. And yes, I look forward to hearing your thoughts. And yes, as always, take care, and thanks for watching.